Powerful Content Podcast, your go-to source for content creation, strategy, and business inspiration. I'm your host, Mel Daniels, content strategist, coach, and speaker, empowering women across the globe to grow their business with powerful content that connects, nurtures, and converts. So, if you're ready to create standout content that gets you noticed and remembered, or build an aligned audience who love you and are ready to buy from you, you're in the right place. I believe that content has the power to connect us all. It's up to you how you use it. Listen in for genuine and insightful chats with guests, as well as practical tools and strategies from me. It's so lovely to have you here. Let's dive into the show. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 67 of the Powerful Content Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it, and especially since I know that there are so many other options out there right now that you could be listening to. Before I jump into today's episode, I just wanted to remind you that doors are currently open to the Content Effect. That's if you're listening to this episode in real time, June 2023. It's actually the first time I've opened the doors this year. So I'm really excited, obviously, and I really can't wait to welcome you inside. Now, this membership is for you if you're a woman in business who really wants to ditch that content confusion and really start creating content that gets you noticed and remembered, as well as make sales. So the content effect is actually what happens to you when you start using your content strategically. And if you want to know more about this, go back to episode 66 where you can find out more about the content effect. But basically, it's once you start using content powerfully, instead of throwing that content spaghetti at the wall, you'll find your ideal client will sit up, notice, listen, and you have a well-crafted message that really does matter. You'll be able to create more content without adding to your workload, and you'll be seen as the go-to expert. So if you're keen to join the growing supportive community on the inside, head to thecontenteffect.com.au/the content effect, and you'll find all the goss on what's included and how to jump on in before the doors close again. And if you are listening to this episode outside of June 2023, please note you can go to the same place, pop your name on the waitlist, because I have some seriously juicy bonuses for waitlisters. The one this year, it was pretty good. So if you're a waitlister right now, make sure that you're checking your emails for your super special bonus. So having said this, I think today's episode might actually come at a really good time. Not just because it's a topic that we do cover inside of the Content Effect. I've also been covering it over the past week inside of my launch event, the Content Mastery Week. But also because for those of us in Australia, where rising interest rates and the cost of living is really putting a brake on discretionary spend, knowing where our next sale will come from can be a little bit nerve-wracking. So I want you to know that there are some things that you can do now. You can maybe tweak or start doing in order to make sales now, and also to make sure that you set yourself up for the long term as well. So in this bonus episode today, I'm going to go through 5 questions you can ask yourself. Now, the first question is, are you actually even making the offer? Yes, I know, simple, yet often overlooked. We create amazing content. We might get really great engagement and feedback, yet no one buys. Well, why? Because maybe no one actually knows exactly what you offer. So some examples on how you can make sure that you're doing this throughout your content ecosystem include maybe on social media, promoting your offer directly, right? No faffing, no beating around the bush. Call out who it's for and what problem you're solving. And if you're following a simple social media plan, and if you need to know more about what this looks like, then head back to episode 8, Simple Social Media Plan Sorted. Then I'd really expect you to be promoting your offer a minimum of once a week. That's a direct promotion of what you offer. In your emails, you might think about adding a call to action in your regular emails to work with you. So I have a PS at the bottom of every email that outlines all the ways that you can work with me. If you're on my email list, go and check it out. It's right down the bottom. In your nurture sequences, make sure that it's really clear what you want them to buy or what you want them to do next. Add bold buttons and get those people clicking. With your core content, you might create a blog, a podcast, or a video around a specific problem your offer solves. If you listen to the end of this episode and every other episode I record, you'll hear that I expressly talk about how you can work with me. So that's the first thing. Are you actually making the offer? The second one is your ideal client who you think they are? This is a tricky one, especially if you've been in business for a while. We forget that we change as people and as business owners, as does the people we serve. So sometimes we even have two different types of ideal clients. For me, I have those women who are ready for someone to do the work for them and create the strategy and the funnels so they don't even have to think about it. Then there's the woman like you who wants to understand all the pieces and learn to DIY whilst remaining accountable and supported by an amazing community. So make sure that you're making the offers to the right people at the right time will increase your sales. And if you need to go back to revisit who your ideal client is, don't forget you can grab my free resource, The Unboring Ideal Client Avatar, and I'll pop the link for that in the show notes. Now, the third question is, are you taking your ideal client on a journey? You will never, ever make sales if you just promote. This is the opposite of not promoting at all, but it still has the same outcome. It's really rare that someone comes into your world and immediately purchases your signature thing. And I'm not saying that that doesn't happen, because it does, but just think of your own purchasing behavior. The psychology is that you really want to know someone first. Understand that as a person, they're on the same wavelength as you, and then you'll get to a point where you like them and you go searching for their free resources. So you end up on their email list. You gel with the stories that they tell and the results that they receive and the people they've worked with in the past, and then you eventually feel confident enough to purchase from them. So by not creating content that meets your ideal client at the connect, the subscribe, and the nurture phases of the client journey, it's unlikely that the convert or the promotional pieces are even going to land with them at all. So if sales are looking low, look at where you might need to improve to focus or change in that client journey. Okay, the next question I want to ask you, are you clear on what uniqueness you bring to the table? You know who your ideal client is. You know what possibilities you create in their life, but are you clear on the you part of your business and content? Go back and listen to episode 65, the one reason that your message is missing the mark, and you'll soon see that for a sale to happen, a critical part of your message that most people are missing is the you or the why. When you understand what it is that's absolutely unique to you, your beliefs, your values, your signature framework, then that's when you're going to start filling your funnel and making more sales. So are you clear on the uniqueness you bring to the table? And the last question is, are you setting yourself up for growth in other areas other than sales? I recently did a Facebook Live inside my free group, The Content Project, around shifting your perspective from sales growth to growth in other areas of your business as well, which will eventually impact your sales growth as well. But besides sales, you can also grow your email list, you can grow your audience, you can have personal growth, and you can grow your visibility. So with an email list, I'm talking about quality over quantity. It's always my motto here. But this is really your opportunity to focus on growing and nurturing your list so that when they're ready to buy, you are the obvious and only choice for them. With your audience, I'm not just talking about socials, but also for your core content as well, your blog, podcast, or video. How can you get more people listening and watching? As well as what other new platforms could you actually add to your content ecosystem? With personal growth, what I want you to do is dig out those courses you bought in the last couple of years and never actually finished, and finish them off. Not just finish them off, but implement your learnings as well. Find some new people to follow that you truly resonate with and find ways to work with them to upskill. And lastly, visibility. Working on your content marketing skills, learning to put a plan in place, systemize your processes and consistency, and have a very clear message that brings that beautiful, unique you to the world so that you can be seen as that go-to expert in your market. Okay, so that's the 5 questions that I want you to ask yourself today if you're not making those sales. I want you to ask yourself, are you making the offer? Is your ideal client who you think they are? Are you taking your ideal client on that journey? Are you clear on what uniqueness you bring to the table? And are you setting yourself up for growth in other areas than sales? So just tweaking 1 or 2 of these things can really impact the sales that you make in your business now and in the future. Now, like I said at the beginning of the episode, I cover all of these things inside the Content Effect, and you can come and join us today. If you want to know more about the Content Effect or wondering whether it's the right place for you to be, then go back and listen to the previous episode about bringing more of the Content Effect to your life and your business. Or you can send me a DM over on Instagram. My handle is @meldbusiness, and I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you. Just know that you'll have all the resources, all of the support from me, and a beautiful community that you need to take your content to the next level, no matter where you are in your business journey or how you like to create content. This isn't a cookie cutter membership. The solutions you implement are unique as you are. Talk soon. Thanks so much for listening. That's it for another week. To get more powerful content in your life, make sure you're following along on socials. My handle is @meldbusiness. And just in case you're wondering, the groovy music for this podcast was created by Just Here on SoundCloud. I'd also be super grateful if you took a moment to rate and review this podcast so more amazing women like you can experience the power of content. And if you're like, hell Mel, stop talking, I'm ready to work with you now, here's how we can work some powerful content magic together. Firstly, come and join the Content Effect, my membership inspiring women with service-based businesses to ditch the content chaos and start creating stand-out content that gets you noticed and makes sales. You can join us by using the link in the show notes or just Google the Content Effect. The second way we can work together is via my one-on-one packages. We can create a sustainable content strategy or start to build out your client journey. It's up to you. Hop on over to meldbusinessservices.com.au/services to find out more. Until next time, have a beautiful week and embrace the power of your content.